Hello guys, I'm going to do my presentation on UPA. So it all starts around the Walt Disney Studio labor strike in 1941, and David Hilberman, who left Disney post-strike, Zachary Schwartz was fired a year before the strike, and Stephan Busteau was fired twice, but finally fired in 1941. So the studio starts in 1943 with the original name Industrial Film and Poster Service. So the first film released by the studio is Hell Bent for Election 1944. So John Hubley, David Hilberman, Zach Schwartz, Stephan Busteau, and Chuck Jones were involved in making this short, and it was commissioned by the United Auto Workers to generate more support for Franklin Roosevelt, and it was commissioned to John Hubley, and he took it to the group, and it was actually made in Zach Schwartz's apartment. And I want you guys to know, that the style that we kind of know and kind of see, it's like during the black background scene, and afterwards it was really good, and they had now a different name. In 1944 the company changes their name to United Film Production, or UFP, and UFP still had an ongoing contract with the United Auto Workers, and during this they made Brotherhood of Man in 1946, which was directed by Bob Cannon, and as well at the same time they were being financially supported by the government, and they produced training films for armed forces. This is where they also produced Private Snafu shorts, and one of them, A Few Quick Facts About Fear in 1945, has like that style that we also are very associated with the UPA. And afterwards they have a new name, new shorts, new fame. So in 1945 they finally changed their name to the name we kind of know them as United Production of America, or UPA. And Busteau and Hubley and some investors bought out the company from Schwartz and Hilberman, which they end up gaining full control of the UPA. Eventually Busteau looked for more jobs than the government, and they got a contract with Columbia, and because Columbia Pictures had closed their studio, which was Screen Gem, in 1946. So during this time, they were producing these shorts called Jolly Frockles, which were kind of like Merry Melodies or Looney Tunes. And afterwards, Columbia Pictures insisted that they would do something with their characters from Screen Gems, The Fox and the Crow, which they produced 3 shorts with Hubley overlooking them during production. And finally, in 1949, the crew of UPA started expanding and growing bigger with more Disney employees, and Art Babbitt was one of them. And he convinced Columbia to let them create a new character. And Hubley, being tired of constantly drawing animal characters, worked together with screenwriter Millard Kaufman, and they created Mr. Magoo. And the first released animation with Mr. Magoo was Ragtime Bear. So after that, they started making the shorts that they are very remembered for. So Gerald McBoing Boing, Rudy Tooty, and the rest. And in 1949, Dr. Seuss approached UPA with a new character concept, which Busteau was very eager to get, which was General McBoing Boing. And Cannon was put to work with this short, and he worked with William Hertz, who was an animator, to create a minimalistic flat world for young Gerald. And the short won an Oscar and eventually got a TV show.